to your Saturday morning television show. We're going to talk about when colorism fails, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret, not really a secret, about Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott is an iconic African American rapper, dancer, and R&B singer from Portsmouth, Virginia. In her 30 plus years in the music industry, she has worked with the likes of Aaliyah, Beyonce, Little Kim, Janet Jackson, and Puff Daddy, and that's not even scratching the surface. Missy is popular for her partnership with mega producer and longtime friend Timbaland. Their musical success ignited under the tutelage of R&B mastermind Devontae Swing. At the height of Devontae's musical career, he with Jodeci, he began a musical collective called The Basement, and it consisted of several artists such as Timbaland, the R&B trio Player, which was lit. I love that song. Rip to Static of Player, who wrote a lot of the songs, and Magoo, who was a fake ass Q-tip. There were plenty other artists that belonged to the basement, but Sister was expected to be the next female Jodeci. This is a group to which Missy belonged, and it's the perfect example of when colorism fails. In a society where unfortunately white is right, colorism can be oppressive to dark skinned artists. It's no denying that colorism has played a major role in hip hop and R&B culture. Artists of lighter skin complexions tend to rise to success easily and don't seem to share the same struggles as artists with these strong African features, you know? Like it's a shame actually how colorism has played a role in hip hop and R&B culture. But we have artists like Missy who kind of beat that sort of odd. She belonged to this group called Phase that ultimately turned into Sister. And her fellow band members were Radia Scott, LaShawn Shellman, Shanita Coleman. These girls were beautiful, like they were what we considered to be the idea of black beauty. They had the look at them, their long hair, they have the dance moves, the slender bodies, maybe they had a couple of pieces in there, some extensions, but still, they had that look, that 3LW, pre Beyonce, pre Destiny's Child type look that girls like Beyonce and them were trying to emulate. So, like, you see these girls are beautiful, but Missy Elliott here, she is gorgeous. I love her. I've always thought she had swag and that she was beautiful. She definitely held her own. But how did they fade into the darkness? How did she leave them behind? She's thick, dark skin, but super successful anyway. And they faded right into obscurity. Why did she leave them in the dust? What happened? What happened to Radia Scott, for example? Well, you can see here that she's dancing in the brand new video. She's since hung up her baggy sweatsuits and she worked on a gospel album. You can see her here with her family. She's been a mom. She looks happy and radiant. She's still modeling, taking pictures. So, she also is friends with LaShawn Shellman, her former band member on Facebook, who often sang alongside Missy and added a nice, unique tone to the group's harmony. She had a baby with Casey from Jodeci, and it didn't necessarily help her circumstances. She's on change.org trying to get a BET show with only 19 people on her petition. Like she has a lot of work to do, and you can hear her kind of slick throwing shade at Missy in this interview that I'm about to play.
Hey, this is LaShawn. You checking out IGotSoul.com.
As part of Sista, how were you originally discovered by Devontae?
Well, basically, Timbaland discovered me at the Hampton Coliseum in Virginia. I was a solo act, and Sister had been lost a member or something, and I was singing before Mary J. Blige, Shabba Ranks, TLC, and Bobby Brown concert, And the show was delayed, so they called some girls up on stage. And I think I just arrived. I thought I had missed the show, like the opening part of the show, but I guess I was right on time. So all my friends had pushed me up on stage. So I sung a song and had a standing ovation, and I happened to be in the crowd. And after the show was over, we kind of crossed paths at the McDonald's outside of Hampton Coliseum, and he asked me, was I the girl singing? And I told him yes. So he's like, well, I work with Sister, Jodeci's girl group. Would you be interested in joining the group? So that's how I came about the Sister.
Clear that up.
Well, like, we were young, you know, and we had put blood, sweat, and tears in our projects, and we just got discouraged at the end, basically. You know, we all had our own lives before the basement and Jodeci, and, you know, like, some of us stayed back in New York. Missy stayed back doing little things. I went to certain projects with her, with Aaliyah. We were on the Aaliyah If Your Girl, we knew set, the video shoot was going to be in that, but, you know, we tried to do different things, and things just didn't work out. And I had kids, I was young, you know, I was the only one with kids, so I just decided to come back home. It just didn't work out. We just got discouraged, that's all.
After leaving the basement, were you guys still a group, or did you guys break up because, you know, after leaving the basement?
Well, from when we first broke up, we always made that pact, you know, Sister will always be forever. You know, one got put on, the other got put on. I can remember going into the record label. Cheryl Connigsberg, she was a lady working with Jodeci at the time. She was like, you know, LaShawn, stuff is about to hit the fan. A lot is about to go on. I really think you should do a solo project, you know, blah, 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 blah. And she took me to a record company. She snuck me to a meeting with Busta Rhymes people in Salt and Pepper. And I actually turned that record deal down because they didn't want Sister on board. And I felt we made a pact. You know, if one got put on, all got put on, and I didn't feel comfortable taking it. So at that point, we were a group. But at another point, Missy ended up taking hers. And it was like she had already had writing credibility with different artists. So that's when the groups kind of really started shying away from one another because, you know, our attentions were in different scenarios. And I was kind of upset because I turned down my solo deal. But it is what it is, you know. But at the time, we were a group when we first broke apart. But then, you know, other things happened. People started going, you know, different directions.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, since then, you know, now it's 2012, you know, during that time period, were you still trying to pursue a music career, or did you just take a step back from that?
Well, like, when I came home, when I left New York, I left Puffy's house, Daddy's house, I was doing some work out of there. I just came home, tried to regroup, you know, got my kids, raised them, but I was still doing music. Missy used to call me all the time, hey, LaShawn, you know, I just signed to a record deal. And I'm like, okay, great. You know, she was like, hey, guess what? I just signed a to a record deal. Hey, that's great. But what about your group? You know, it was never no type of collab with Sister. So what I started doing was doing solo projects. Like I've done mad underground music. I was working on the lab recordings. I remember when E2 Hollywood Story did my interview, I brought them to where I was recording out of. I got a lot of music. My kids do music, so I still do music. A lot of people like for me to ghostwrite on the, you know, on their stuff, and I give pointers, and I try to, you know, teach what I've learned through the business. So I still do music to this day. I just released a song on YouTube. It's a dedication to Sister Jodeci and the Basement Crew. It's basically a song saying it's me again, and it's basically me stating how, you know, some time has passed, and I would love to see them, and it's just a song dedicated to them, actually.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like now you're really trying to push forward with that music dream again. You know, why do you feel like now is the right time?
Well, I always thought Sister Jodeci and the Basement Crew was premature. You know, our music, if you notice, a lot of things that Tim do, music Missy do, and Genuine and Play, and other people who left the Basement Crew, our music still lives on. It's like almost as if, you know, we were before our time. And to this day, like I said, my kids are into music now. So I have a 22-year-old and a 21-year-old who are pursuing their music career. So I try to guide them in the right direction. And I do, like I said, I've been doing music for all these years, and people just like, why are you trying to get a record deal? You know, I was like, well, I really don't want to be an artist. I just want to be, you know, ghostwriter. I want to be out there, you know, I just want people to hear my music, my lyrics, because I feel like I never had the chance to show the world LaShawn, you know, before Sister, and I have that love of music, and I just love music, and that's what I do. You know, if it wasn't for music, I wouldn't be LaShawn. You know, I try to put it on hold. I try to forget about it, but hey, People still love my music. I still got the ability and the talent God gave me, so why not push it? And basically, it's not really for me, it's for my fans, because those are the ones who keep, when can we hear something from you? When are you going to release something? Well, I basically released that song on YouTube for my fans because they hit me up on Facebook all the time. They love to hear something from you. So that's basically why I'm doing it now, because the love is still there. I still got a little fan base, and I really think that my music is good, and the world should hear it.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of the fan base, it's always interesting because to this day, a lot of people still talk about the basement. Even though none of the music that you guys put out actually was released. So how do you kind of explain?
Basement crew, everybody. And that's basically where I'm hearing that they're still interested in the basement crew.
Yeah, definitely. And I believe you were trying to get something done for a TV show or a book. Can you kind of talk about that?
I really don't want to put too much out there, but I'm in the process of writing a book. My life. Like I said, I dated Casey. We have a 13-year-old son together. He was premiered on one of the Casey and JoJo show, Comes Clean shows. It's just a lot of history back behind my life that people still ask me all types of questions. I basically get tired of repeating those questions over and over. So I'm just going to give them a little bit of what they want, a little insight of my life, what I experienced. It wasn't just Missy or just Genuine or just Timberland. It was the basement. It was Sister. It was more members in the group. And they're only hearing, Missy's side and how she felt. It was four girls. And I'm trying to inspire Radia and Shanita to speak out also because, we were not just pretty faces. And I've read in magazines and I've heard on interviews where, we were basically referred to as just pretty faces. And I was the lead singer. I was the one who did all the leading on the stage. So basically it's just to get my voice heard, for me, for my satisfaction, for my pleasure, and my basically, like I said, my kids are singing, and they're awesome. My son has released some of his stuff on his Facebook, and he's about to do his YouTube. But they're talented, and I just want the world to see that also. And what I've learned out of this is how it instilled in my kids, and, that I haven't stopped. It's just, it's just coming.
Unnecessarily laden with autotune, LaShawn recorded a song that she dedicated to her former band members and the basement.
To see you all again, and I can still remember back on all the good times. We used to talk, we used to sing, the sea would spin around. Mesmerize whoever listened to our music. We were so young, we were the bomb, and we knew it. Can we go back in time? Can we just press rewind? Can we go back to the days when we all used to say? 'Cause I won't mind if y'all don't mind. Maybe we could spend some time, and I won't mind if y'all don't mind. Maybe we could spend some time, and you made me feel so brand new. You made me feel so, you made me feel so brand new.
of this activity is taking place in like 2012. Someone actually recorded her singing in her kitchen, and she did a much better job than that dedication song. Listen, and it's coming up right here.
You have done your very best, and it seems like you just can't stand the test. Keep on keep on believing, 'cause you can make it through the night. God said He would make everything alright, alright.
So, what did you guys think? I actually think she is super talented still. I think she can really sing. And maybe if someone cleaned her up a bit and gave her an opportunity, she would be able to hold her own. I mean, I don't think maybe. She definitely has pipes. Um, the next band member is Shanita Coleman, okay? That's this girl right here. Now, she is the most obscure, and it is definitely like looking for Waldo. So, I have not been able to produce any information on her. The only thing that came up was a Wattpad story titled For All the Sisters Around the World. If anyone knows anything about the whereabouts of Shanita Coleman, definitely drop it in the chat. That was some of their vocals, and this is the Wattpad page I was referring to. So, is Missy to blame though? Regardless of the backstory, Missy Elliott can't be faulted for looking out for herself. You know, like maybe like Faye's sister was just another group, another opportunity for her to be creative. You know, her group members can often be factors that influence one another's success. And when Elektra didn't release their album, Missy moved on to other opportunities and capitalized on her own talents, which she could better control. You know, her decision to sign artists outside of her group, that may not have been anything other than a business decision. Like Missy did work with several artists, and many of them were dark-skinned female talents who weren't the typical picture of black beauty. I would say like a Gina Thompson, Puff Daddy brought her out, but Missy made her popular, and now she's faded into obscurity. Tweet, Nicole Ray, Sierra, the little chocolate girl. I don't even know her name. See what I'm saying? Like, if she was light skinned, I would probably know her damn name. She's in that recent video that Missy has called Drip Demeanor. But I think Missy seeks like raw talent like herself. You know what I mean? Like raw talent. Missy Elliott is definitely one of a kind, you guys. Maybe even a genius. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Missy for beating colorism. And shout out to all the dark skinned people and the light skinned people and the black people of all shades. Thank you for watching Black Saturday Morning Television.